Thanks to Guitar Center for having me. I'm BlankFor.ms. The Elektron Syntakt does a lot of amazing things, a lot of cool sound design stuff, but my favorite aspect of it is the signal flow on the way out. And so I'm going to show you how I like to use that, I guess. And so first, I think it's helpful to imagine a couple of like effects pedals or effects units or whatever sitting right up here from the output, like coming straight from the output of the Syntakt. Imagine there's a distortion, a stereo distortion right here, and then just past it, we have a stereo filter, stereo analog filter right after the output of this thing. All right, so I'm going to show you some things I like about that. First, I'm going to find a bass drum sound. I'm going to use the very first one I made. I'm just going to put a 4 on the floor. Really simple. I'm going to make this 2 bars. Seems to have done it for me. Make that a little longer. Okay, that sounds good. Good start. Next up, analog noise sound. We'll go with this one. And I'll do the same thing here. And let's see if I can make that a little more present. That'll work. Okay, great. So right now we're going to go straight to that distortion pedal here. We're going to go to the effects page, and I do that by hitting Function and Effects. I guess this is the routing page, that's what it's called. And you can see it's got all of my instruments here, so my 8 digital instruments, and then 4 analog right here, and then these ones are effects. They're all represented as the buttons here. So if I want to send something through my little distortion pedal up here, I'm just going to hit it, and away it goes. You can hear the bass drum started getting a little distorted. Next up, I'm going to put the sort of hi-hat-ish sound I have happening right now through there. And immediately you can hear the two kind of start to interact. I love how bass tones kind of modulate, distort, however you want to think of it, the higher frequency stuff that's happening along with it, which in this case is that guy. Okay, great. So I'm going to get out of there. Well, first I'll go back here. If I hit FX without hitting Function FX, I just hit FX when I'm on something and then go to the machine. You can see these things are turning orange. That means we're in the effects land or whatever, however you want to think of it. And this allows me to essentially turn up the distortion level on my pedal here, right over here. And this applies to everything that's flowing through it at the moment. So for the sake of example, we're going to go extreme here. I'm going to leave that way up there. I'm going to go back to my kick drum and just mess around with how it sounds with all this distortion. I kind of love super low sounds. Go there for now. Try some other things here. Feels pretty good. Now I'm going to add some effects to this hi-hat-ish sound. I'm going to give it a ton of delay actually, and some reverb. And I'm going to edit my delay and reverb to my taste. You can see how I like to work with these. And this pretty much is across the board on all of my Elektron devices. So to get there, I hit Function and Filter. You can see it says delay there. And now I'm editing the delay device. I'm going to EQ that delay. I'm going to set the time to a quarter note. And I'm going to put it in stereo. Give it a little more feedback. I'm going to switch to the reverb. Same thing, Function, Reverb. I'm going to EQ that, a little more pre-delay, and make it long. A little more of that. That's roughly where I want to be. Alright, so this is feeling pretty good. Again, we can go here. And hear that. And also, I want to go in here and send my delay through the distortion, and instantly you can hear. Changes it a lot. Okay, next up, let's add some things. That is not the sound I want there. I'm going to go to the sounds I've created, and all the way to the bottom is a pad I like. And I'm actually going to triple that. I'm going to put that sound here, here, and here. So I'm on it. I'm going to hit track and copy. Copies the sound. Go to the next one. Hit track and paste. Next one, track, paste. So now they're all the same. So I'm kind of creating a quasi-polyphonic instrument here, kind of a fake polyphonic instrument. For this first one, I'm just going to put it on the downbeat of, well, I guess I'm on bar 2. That's not exactly what I wanted to do, but it'll work. And for the second one, I'll put it here, and I'm going to change the pitch of it. There are some easier ways to do this, but I'm just going to get this going quick and easy. Let's put this here, and I'm going to make that an F. There we go. Okay, so you can hear I've got these 3 pads happening. I'll just mute these so that we hear just the pads. Go back to routing. I'm going to try putting them through the distortion. Kind of nice. And I will get out of here and unmute these 2 guys. Okay, and one more sound. Let's make this a little high-pitched sound. It could become a melody, though I'm just gonna put one in. There it is. All right, it's a little too loud. Give it some noise. And let's let that flow through the delay. There we go. All right. And so now I'm going to go back to my routing. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Go back to my routing. And now this is one of my favorite aspects. Now that I've got kind of everything happening, just playing around with what's going through that distortion pedal and what isn't. Another fun aspect, if I flip over to here, which I did by hitting Function and LFO, which takes you to the 3 mixer pages. When I go to the second one, I've got this option Effects Level, controlled by this. So that's going to control the level of everything you have routed through our distortion and filter up here. And right now I have these 3 pads just happening internally. They're sort of like not going to the pedal, they're going around it. So it's nice to be able to really dial in those levels. Okay, the next part of the effects chain I want to show you is after our distortion pedal up here is the filter. And if I click over here, remember I'm in effects land, click over here into the filter, it shows me a new filter page. And this can be confusing because it looks exactly like the filter page for all of the instruments. But because I have the effects highlighted, this is actually my little filter pedal up here that is a filter on everything that's passing through my distortion. So I bring that all the way down. Pads are fine because they're not being distorted. But everything that's being distorted is impacted. This is an analog filter. It sounds great. I think they did an incredible job here. It's sort of like a mini version of the analog heat, which to be honest, I didn't love how a lot of those distortions sounded. But I do love this one and the filter. So you're getting kind of a mini analog heat, and honestly it might be better to my ears. It's at least covers all the bases. And let's get a little filter motion happening. We're going to go to the LFO, and now we have LFOs on just the effects chain, which is kind of crazy. So I'm going to send this to the filter frequency. Yes. Slow it down a bit. Go here. And I'm going to get that filter moving. Sounds beautiful. Back to the filter now, and let's mess around with options. I really love using the bandpass with this. Get some really lovely variations on whatever you're working on. It's just like get into sound design nirvana here. It's beautiful. I'll go back here for a moment. Alright, so there it is, using the Syntakt, going into your little imaginary distortion and filter pedals. These sound design possibilities here are really awesome.